initially, when I came out of school, it was to work in advertising and be a copywriter. So I was going to be the one writing the commercials and all the print ads and all those things. And I did it for a year. I was like, I don't want to do this.
Look at that.
This is not fun. Like, bless anyone who works in advertising. It's a very sharp, fast-paced industry, but you have to know if you want it or not. And I think in this day and age, if we're talking about pivot, we're talking about self-awareness and being honest about what you want. And what you want right now may not be what you want 10 years from now, and that's okay. But you have to be willing to be flexible and be self-aware to recognize if something doesn't fit you anymore.
And what about it didn't fit?
So when I worked in the ad agency, I tell people sometimes the dream of working somewhere and the reality of working somewhere are not the same. Looking at this current generation and people want to work at Fortune 500, Fortune 100, big major companies because it's a name. And living in the U.S., we are a very capitalist society. We like labels. From the neighborhood you live in to the school that you go to the company that you work for. We like labels. But sometimes the dream of having that label on you or attached to you does not match the reality. You're sacrificing your mental health, you're sacrificing your peace of mind, and you're sacrificing your happiness. And if you realize that those things are not aligning with what you're doing, you should take the journey to get self-aware, to ask yourself where you should be planted, because that may not be the place. So that's what happened when initially pivot number one, when I was at the ad agency doing copywriting, and I just realized, like, I don't want to write language for Olive Garden commercials and Red Lobster commercials and like Reese's Pieces for the rest of my life. Some people do, and they're really good at it. And I had some wins while I was there. Here's the other thing. You can have awards and wins and be doing well and still not be walking in your purpose. And so I had wins, like I wrote campaigns for like major CPG brands, like copy for like, I was seeing my commercials. I was seeing my radio commercials or hearing my radio commercials. But I didn't want to stay, so I left. Pivoted into publishing and events. So initially I was doing event planning for like the Consumer Electronics Show. So I worked at a major B2B publishing company, and if you've ever been to a conference, like they have presence there. And so I was literally in my 20s managing events and logistics for that. And then I pivoted to grad school. And it was in grad school, I always realized I always wanted my own agency. I feel like if there's ever a time, this is the time to do it. Right? And so I was actually telling Morita, who's on your team, sometimes people project on you what they don't see in themselves. And so they will try to shut down your dreams and your goals. So in grad school,
Talk about it.
I was talking to a career counselor, literally like explaining to her, like, here's my vision. After I graduate, I'm going to launch this agency. She's like, you went to grad school for that? And literally laughed.
And this was in high school?
No, this was in grad school, college.
Wow.
So like,
as an advisor in grad.
Advisor in grad school.
Wow.
And so
That's crazy.
Yeah. So at this point now, because I worked in advertising straight out of college, I worked for several years in the B2B space and in the nonprofit space doing events. And then I went to grad school. And then when I went to grad school, it was with an intent. Like I knew I wanted to have my own company. I just wanted to sharpen my business acumen. And then when I'm talking to people about my vision, and to have someone that's supposed to be invested in steering you in the right direction laugh at you in the face and say, okay, all right, sis, good luck with that. It could be discouraging, but I knew in my heart that that's what I wanted to do. Like this was a dream I had deferred for too long, so I wasn't gonna let someone laughing at me stop.